Texas farms just lost 100% of their workers overnight. Crops are rotting in the field, livestock is dying, immigration raids are collapsing American agriculture. Americans are about to learn what the actual cost of food really is. And agriculture is the economic foundation for most of these rural Texas towns, so unless these workers are undisappeared immediately, these towns are going to collapse. The cultural reality is the security versus self-direction cultural conflict, and Americans are security obsessed, demanding immediate border controls and mass deportations without considering the consequences. And now they will pay the price, literally in the form of higher food prices. America has got to get back to its foundation of self-directed culture, in which states, localities, and individuals make their own decisions rather than being dictated by the federal government. Because the economic reality is that undocumented workers make up 50 to 70% of U.S. agricultural labor, because Americans won't do farm work, and even if they were willing to, farmers can't pay American wages and stay profitable. And we've seen this before. Operation Wetback in 1954, some mass deportations, and an agricultural crisis. The Barro-Serra program, which ended in 1964, resulted in decades of farm labor shortages. Every immigration crackdown created high food prices because farms had no workers. So what's next? More farms shutting down, ever-increasing food prices, and if Republicans don't reverse this, at a certain point, the U.S. is going to have to import food to feed its own people. Rural Texas voted for Trump, and Texas, you will reap what you sow. Join us for more economic political analysis at culturalperspective.com.
California's citrus harvest is in trouble. There just aren't enough workers. Farmers across the state are struggling because immigration crackdowns have scared off much of the workforce. In some areas, harvest crews have dropped from 30 workers to just 5. That means fruit is sitting unpicked, and experts warn this could lead to higher food prices. California agriculture relies on over 55,000 migrant workers. So what happens if labor shortages continue? Will this lead to higher prices? Let me know your thoughts below and follow for updates.
And there's reports now that some farmers have 100% of their workers not showing up and they're being forced to shut down. In South Texas, they grow grapefruit, they grow oranges, lots of different citrus varieties, leafy greens, onions, potatoes, peppers. So not only are the prices of what we can get going to go up at the grocery store, but also there's going to be massive food waste if there's nobody picking these crops when they're ready to be picked. I hope MAGA likes a diet of strictly processed foods.
What is wrong with us? Right now, you can see live photos from Oxnard, California, where ICE is lined up by the hundreds to arrest a bunch of people that's been working in the fields 12 to 14 hours today. You said it would be criminals, the worst of the worst. And except for one MS-13, nobody has seen jack shit out of you. But you're out there with riot gear, submachine guns, armored vehicles, trying to arrest a bunch of farm workers who are so tired they can probably barely drag themselves home. What is wrong with us? The worst of the worst. Nobody's arguing about you taking criminals. Nobody. But you're out there getting a bunch of old ladies and people that have worked 12 to 14 hours a day and letting the criminals go free.
What wrong with us? Nobody argue when you take criminals, but you are taking hard worker, ladies, someone who want to feed their family back home where they are coming from. Why? My name is Lick. In today's video, we are going to talk about why America farming business is dying because of lack of workers. Most of them are being detained, sending back home where they are coming from. But now, price in USA of grocery is extremely high because of them. We got a more video like this. Let's jump into it. I will come back with a comment.
America has never lacked labor. It just always had a very clear idea of who should be doing it. The fields, the factories, the kitchens, the care work, always someone else's job. And now, according to our Secretary of Agriculture, that job should go to Medicaid recipients. Not because they volunteered, not because it pays well, but because in the eyes of power, the poor are disposable, and poverty is now a work assignment. Recently, the Secretary of Agriculture suggested that immigrants being deported from this country will be replaced on farms by Medicaid recipients. Let that sink in. We're now saying if you are poor, you work. If you are sick, you work. If you are disabled, an elderly, or a veteran who served this country and now relies on public health care, you work. Not because it's a calling, but because your life, your value, is reduced to whether you can produce cheap labor. For food you may not even be able to afford yourself. This isn't policy, it's punishment. It's the reincarnation of an old American idea that certain people were born to serve, and if they can't serve willingly, then the government will assign them value. Let's be real here. We know who she's not imagining out there in the fields. She's not thinking of white mothers in rural Ohio. She's not thinking of Vietnam vets who've spent decades battling PTSD. She's not thinking of your grandfather on oxygen or your neighbor recovering from surgery. But when she says Medicaid recipients, she wants you to picture black or brown face, a poor person, someone else. This is not about labor. This is about lineage. This is about who America has always considered the help. And now that immigration is being restricted and borders are tightening, they're looking inward and they're asking, who's left to exploit? But here's the irony. The people they want to push into those fields are the same people who built the country in the first place, who fed America, who picked, planted, and processed without dignity, wages, or thanks. And we are not going back. This isn't just a cruel policy suggestion. It's a reflection of how far the political mind has strayed from compassion and logic. Because if they truly cared about labor shortages, they'd reform immigration, they'd raise wages, they'd offer health care, housing, and safety. But instead, they punish the poor for being poor, and they punish the sick for being sick. So the next time someone in power suggests that Medicaid recipients should work the farms, ask them, which ones? The single mothers in trailer parks? The white veterans on disability? The 74-year-old widower in Alabama? Because if you're going to assign people to the fields, don't pretend it's about fairness. Call it what it is. Modern day indentured labor, dressed up as policy. And let me be clear, we've picked enough. We've bent our backs for centuries, and we are not going back to the fields for anyone's political fantasy.
Government decide to bring back those people or who retire, veteran, those who sick, to bring them back to the field to pick the food, to pick the the tomatoes, to pick the fruits. Do you think is a right way to treat those people who served the country? No way. This is killing of people. This is not treatment to the people of United States. But there is another way to bring those people who have been deported to the field, giving them right document, because most of them are not criminals. They are there just to survive, make money for, to change their life back home where they're coming from. We still have another video. Let's watch it.
So you want to deport everyone, huh? In 2011, North Carolina needed 6,500 farm workers. Only 268 legal Americans applied. 245 were hired, but only 163 showed up to the first day. Worse, only 7 lasted till the end of the growing season. Migrant workers aren't taking your jobs. They're doing the jobs you would never do. And while they're doing that, they're paying taxes into Social Security, which they will never get back. And you want to deport them all. Have fun working on the farm.
Hello world, let us have a candid conversation here. So when the president, Donald Trump, took over the office, the first thing he started was mass deportation. My brothers and sisters all the way from Africa were affected. And I think other countries which are struggling in economy like Philippines, Mexico also suffered. Haiti, they are suffering up to date as we speak. And Africans are snitching on each other to make sure that Africans are being what? Deported if they do not have the right papers. But what you don't understand is that most of these Africans, most of these dark-skinned people, they are the ones who are working on American farms. They are the ones who make sure their tomatoes. They are the ones who make sure their grapes. They're the ones who, the ones who make sure there is meat. They work on the farm. They work on the ranches. They work those so serious hard labor. And now since these people cannot go to their farms because they do not have the right documents, they cannot go to the farms. Guess what is happening? As we speak right now, guess what is happening in America? The cost of food is going to go high. You cannot even afford an orange. If you can find one anyway, you cannot afford the prices of tomatoes, as they call it, for educational purposes. You understand? So when you come with this, you know, if I was the president of the Republic of America, I would really do a thorough investigation and research before I deport people. So people who are still in America are afraid to go to the places of work because they might be asked for papers and they don't have them. So what do? They hide. And when they hide, the farms are rotting, the tomatoes are rotting, the grapes, everything in the farms is going to rot. Yes, you might as well start eating your Bill Gates plastics in the name of food, because actually that is what you get. So the hard labor of the migrants, immigrants, as you call them, that hard labor from the Africans is the one running your country. But you thought, we need to purify America. Go on, purify your America. And please, my brothers and sisters, do not even struggle. Come back home. We might suffer together, but you are home. Okay? Let them feel the heat. And this time round, if they want you back, your services must match the salary. If not, please guys, go to the farms, work. You have your nice price.
Come back in Africa, do the job. You know, if you survive in USA like that 12 hours per day, when you come back to Africa, you will make it. I know. Go back to Asia, go back to south part of America, you will make it, because being in USA, it's not easy. They put pressure on you, but they never thought when you left they will suffer. Now price of grocery is going to be high, extremely high. When they need to bring you back, they will treat you well. This is what I thought. Thank you guys to watch today's video. I hope you like it. Share your comment. See you on another one. I love you guys. Ciao.